I'm vengeance.
I think I did it right that time. Much better than last week. Much better than last week. Welcome back, everybody. This is Mark 94 of the Super Civil Service Podcast. My name is Greg, the Bat Daddy 52, and Nathan is not with us today because he is camping. But we have a packed house full of the regulars, bunch of friends. Sarah, how you doing?
I am doing well. It has been a crazy week. Stress induced, but it's fine. It's like my mantra is, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But no, I was looking forward to talking to you guys tonight. So at least
we start every show with "It's been a crazy week" or "It's been a long week." It's so funny.
I don't know what it's been like for the last 6 to 8 weeks, man. I tell you, it's like a house of cards, and it's like all the cards just like keep tumbling down. And oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm just in a crazy industry where it's nuts. I'm waiting for the bubble to finally burst. I don't know if it is or not. I don't know, but it's just insane.
Well, we're here now. Just relax, open up the kimono, and let's just talk about some fun stuff, you know? So.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I just want to let y'all know this isn't the last time you probably won't see the bun because it's coming off.
What? Oh, you're cutting it all off?
Yeah. Well, not all of it, but I probably have about 8 to 10 inches I'm going to get rid of. So.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And just so y'all know, that was metaphorically open the kimono, you know, like.
So. Oh, okay. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, they were live. You know,
getting a little.
Yeah.
It's Friday night, fellas. It's Friday night.
That's right.
Got to turn up on the weekend.
What's up, Joe?
Oh, not much. I have also, similar to Sarah there, it hasn't been a bad week, but it's just a long week. I've got, I get a 3-day weekend for Memorial Day. I'm getting my second COVID shot on Tuesday after work. And work is pretty generous. They have stated that we get the next 2 days off unpaid. So I'm definitely taking advantage of that because I don't want to have to go to work.
Right.
But then also the following week, I've got the whole week off. We're doing work around the house. And so it's a long week because I'm looking forward to my time off. Basically, in the next like 2 weeks, I'm only working 3 days, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. See, nice. I would say working. Like bravo. I would say bravo to you, but wasn't it just like a month ago that you had a bump into like 3 or 4 people that may have tested positive, and you're just like, oh, well, I guess I just don't work for another 3 weeks.
You say a month ago? That was in December and January, my friend.
Holy crap! Time moves way too freaking fast.
Yes, it does.
Holy crap!
Yeah, but no, from Thanksgiving to about beginning of February, I think I worked maybe 1 full week of work, if that.
I will just say, I don't know which vaccine you're taking, but that second shot,
will knock you on your ass.
Dude, I feel like I got hit by a bus and drugged by my arm, but it was only for like. The next day I was
like 24
fine,
hours, right? Yeah. Like which one did you get, Sarah?
I had the Moderna.
So did I, but I will say it did not knock me on my butt. But Abby, she got the worst of it. Like
I just hurt, man. I just had body aches. It's just for
her. I will say usually like even allergies kind of kick her ass. So when this hit her, it hit her for like 3 days.
Oh yeah. Well, my husband had.
Thankfully, we took our shot like on a Wednesday, and her job. She's a nanny. Her family had went to their grandparents, and so she was off of work. And so for those 3 days, thankfully she didn't have to like call into work or anything and lose out on anything.
Well, that's good.
But yeah.
Well, my husband, he had the Pfizer one, but he was just tired. He just said he was like really tired. But the next day, I mean, he was absolutely fine. So.
See, that's what I'm thinking because I don't get sick very often. I'm getting the Moderna. My girlfriend got the Pfizer, and going into getting the Pfizer, she was already sick. So the having Well, actually, I think it might have because
Really?
the first shot of the Pfizer, she was down. Like she was just dead to the world for 2 days. The second shot here, she was relatively bad that first 24 hours, but that next day, she had a bunch of energy. She was just rearing to go. And I think because she was already sick and her immune system was already kind of low, it just like, all right, well, 24 hours, you're down, and then here you come. You're back up again.
Yeah.
I'm looking to take the 2 days regardless, just to relax, be off of work, be off my feet.
Yeah.
I've also my knee has been hurting me for the last week. I don't know why, so being off of work is gonna be really good.
Is it about to rain? I heard that happens to old people.
Well, it has been raining, so fuck off.
I say that, but like my entire body aches.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even gonna joke around.
You're not wrong. I feel like it was old age. I don't know.
I have been beat up not only by my own dog, by other people's dogs as well. By the way, I'm there.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
There were 6 minutes in with
But yeah, I will say the same thing as all of you guys. It has been a week. I was only working on the weekends just because, like I said, the dogs were kind of kicking my ass. With me being at the job that I was. Before this, I was just doing sitting on my ass at a engine test site and just looking at a screen, and then going into a place where there's 50 plus dogs having to walk them and play with them and beat me up and stuff. It has done a number on my body. So my feet hurt, my ankles hurt.
Fella, you can take it. Come on now.
Oh, there you go.
No, you haven't hit 30 yet. Shut up.
Oh, next year. That's it. But yeah, it's been great. I will say, it looks like somebody has reached out as far as another job opportunity, which pays a lot more with benefits. Ooh, so it's not a for sure thing, but I'm knocking on wood and hoping that everything works out. And it'll be a full-time with weekends. So haven't had that.
I hope that works out for you. Yes, that would be very, very nice. Speaking of work, I don't get a ton of time off work, but like Joe, in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna have a lot of time. I got Sunday, Monday off, and then I only go to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I think I have 6 days off in a row. So it'll be nice. Yeah, I'm taking a little break. I just took a few days of leave, so it'll be fun. But oh yeah, you're talking about dogs. I gotta tell you, man, there's a Great Dane on my route. It's in a car shop, and I saw it the other day, and it's the sweetest dog I've ever seen in my life, and I have to have a Great Dane now.
Great Danes,
absolutely have to have a Great Dane.
Great Danes, from what I have noticed at work, they are a weird species of dog because they're a horse, for one thing.
Right.
Yep.
Phony.
And so because of that, you don't expect them to have a lot of energy because they have a whole bunch of weight on these legs. They're usually slower dogs. Mm-hmm. No. Mm-hmm. And it's really crazy what I'm learning about dogs is, for me, it's always like, oh, a dog wants to play because they're dogs. That's just what dogs do. They want to play. Hell no. There's dogs that like, if I get like anywhere near them, they're like, fuck off. Like, don't even come near me. Just fuck off. Like, I just want to sit here in the sun and bask and bathe in the sun. And I don't want to be bothered. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, you do you. I'm not going to come near you. Yeah. You just do whatever.
I was at a party, a cousin's party, a couple years back at my cousin's house. And her dog apparently is very similar to Do Not Mess With Me. I didn't know this. And I'm used to like being in dogs' faces and play with them. And he's like, I can't remember what he was doing, but he like starts to mess with me. I kind of get up in his face, and everybody at the party just like stops and just stares at me. And I'm like, what?
You better get your face eat off.
Yeah.
Literally. They're like, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go over here now. I'm gonna hide.
Yeah. That's
so
crazy.
we were briefly talking about it right before we started recording, and I shared the picture with Joe.
Yeah.
So, so Greg, I looked up this thing called Final Cut on the Mac.
Uh-huh.
You want to take a guess at how much it is?
Is it a like streaming program?
It is called Final Cut Pro Professional Post Production.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll help you edit. It does a lot.
Not just audio, but video. It looks like video as well.
Okay, I use what's the name of the one I use right here? Because I'm gonna go by the kind of basing off the price of the one I use. It's gosh, I want to come up. Wondershare Filmora is what I use.
Okay,
and I pay I think $120 a year for it.
Holy shit!
So I'm gonna say if this is for a Mac, it's probably $500.
Wow.
You actually went over. This thing is $300.
Wow,
and it's just the program, so you don't have to pay monthly or anything. At least I don't think so. If they tell me to buy it for $300 and then say, monthly? Hey, by the way, $150 a month after that, hell no.
Yeah.
And then I just messaged my co-host for Batman News Weekly that recommended it to me. And he's like, oh wow, that's crazy. It was only $250 last time. I'm like, how is that any different?
Well, that's like, still not too bad though. You know.
I mean, like I paid insane. I think about $200 a year to use my Squadcast program to record my podcast on, but then I take those files out and I edit it through GarageBand. So
I just feel like I'm probably just gonna go with what freaking Brent was talking about earlier this week or this morning. Like I think that is only like freaking like $10 or something.
Or GarageBand is free.
Or GarageBand is free. I'm trying to keep up with the cool kids. And
oh wait, sorry. Never mind.
Clay, you do you, boo. Okay, you do what's good for you. Okay, as long as you get the final product, it doesn't matter.
Well, no, not just not with audio production, but just this MacBook, man. This is a monster. Like,
I mean, you got that touch bar. That touch bar looks amazing.
It is insane. So, like, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. When Abby granted me permission to buy my gaming/streaming/podcast computer, it was a hefty bill. Like, I was like, okay. Thank you for allowing me to do this because I got a pretty nice job and it was able to pay for it with ease. Having this, like just knowing everything about the like Apple products, I never thought in my life I would own a MacBook Pro. So thank you, Full Sail. But it's fucking insane that they would just be like, oh yeah, this almost $3,000 worth of a computer. Yeah, we're just going to give it to you. Absolutely insane. Yeah. And the convenience of text messages coming into this laptop. I swear to God, I don't have to have my phone on me 100% of the time. It's great.
Yeah, that's why my husband is, because I mean what he does, he's always used Apple because he started with graphic design. So now he's been working with advertising agencies for almost like the past oh God, it's been like almost 18 years. So he doesn't understand it's like, I like the Dells. I mean, that's my thing, but he's like, yeah, the Apple is like, he's always had MacBooks and Mac Airs and, and everything all talks to each other. The phone, you can have the iPad, you can have the MacBook or whatever, and everything talks to each other. And it's great. But then again, I'm like, I like my PC.
So it is convenient. It is convenient. I've never owned an Apple product though. So
this is the only Apple. That's the only Apple product I own. My girlfriend is all in on the Apple. I'm all in on the Samsung.
Yeah, me too. My wife just bought an iPad for her a little bit for her business. So
I think the second generation or the third generation iPhone when it first came out. That was my first like smartphone because I did have.
Was that your first phone because you were 13?
No. My first phone was a flip phone, a prepaid flip phone that you had to pay for the minutes.
Oh, you had a flip phone? Oh,
yeah.
No, sir. We had.
Well, I didn't have the brick. I didn't have the brick.
I had the brick.
You had the brick?
It was awesome.
The Razor was the best phone ever.
The Razor was cool. I did like the Razor.
That was
the
the
phones
best
that
one
had
ever.
a cord in the car. Did y'all have those?
So
I used to have one of those in my truck.
Remember when you saw people that had an antenna on top of the car? You're like, oh, they got.
Yep.
Or the box where the phone where you had to carry the box everywhere where the phone was in.
We're not that old, Clay. Okay.
No, so my dad, technically the first like smartphone that my dad gave me was his old Helio. And it was like the coolest thing because it was a phone that you could like slide up and it would go up, and then you slide it down, turn it sideways and flip it, and it had the keyboard. It was like the coolest thing ever. Yeah, almost like a Sidekick. Yeah.
Okay.
It was like the next upgrade to a Sidekick type of thing because it could do all in one. Then I upgraded to an iPhone. And I was like, man, this is so cool. Then my friends were like, hey, do you know how to jailbreak your iPhone? I was like, oh, what's that? and they told me all of these different things. They're like, oh, yeah, you can do this, and you can do this, and you can do this.
That's how it starts.
I was like, that sounds really cool. Can you do it to my phone? They're like, hell yeah, I can. And so they did it to my phone, and they're like, oh, by the way, how's your dad going to feel about this? I was like, oh, shit, I don't know. Was I not supposed to do this?
Called illegal.
Called jailbreak.
And they were like,
jailbreak for nothing.
And they were like, well, technically you broke like a contract with your phone. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, that's how you do it. I was like, okay, I just have to make sure that he doesn't see my phone. Like, as long as he just sees it in my hand, he knows that I have it, but he doesn't have to actually see what's inside my phone.
Right.
I kept it like that.
That don't work these days. No,
I kept it like this for months, almost an entire year. And then I very stupidly showed him something on my phone and clicked out of it. And all of my apps and everything were like different colors and like all these different images. He's like, let me see your phone. And I instantly knew. I was like, oh no, what did I do? And so he grabbed it, and oh my God, he yelled at me for like a week. He's like, you're gonna get this fixed right now, bro. I was like, oh, okay. So that is what turned me off from the iPhone. I was like, the iPhone got me in trouble. I'm never gonna do that again. And then I was an Android person.
I don't think it was the iPhone's fault.
I blame the iPhone.
I don't think it was the iPhone's fault.
So I became an Android person for 10 years. And then just this past year, I was like, yeah, the Android does way too many things that I don't even know about. So I'm going to go simple and go back to iPhone.
Yeah.
iPhone is so simple. Like, it's the reason why my grandparents have one.
Yeah. It's a great product. It really is. I like the customization and like the added memory and like all the features. I love my Note. Love it. Love it. It's the best phone I ever had. Like, I can do anything I want to with a Note. It's absolutely amazing. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with an iPhone. Oh,
I will tell you this, though. Every single time, like the iPhone, the Samsung, the Note, every time there's a new phone, I'm just looking at it. I was like, God damn it, I want that so bad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know why.
They always look so pretty.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's product placement.
I got the purple one. I got the purple one.
Oh, that's the same one Snell got earlier.
But mine's still 11. Mine's not a 12.
What?
So mine's an 11. It's not a 12.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Clay, I totally forgot. We got to talk about Mortal Kombat because we're both on the same streaming service. Same time.
I'm tired of Mortal Kombat.
Sure,
of it.
You still got to bring it up.
Tired of it.
Yeah. That's right. You're the one who did not like it, correct?
Yeah. I did like it. Yep.
Yeah,
you guys liked it too. I forgot.
Yeah, that's right.
You've got to take it for what it is. I mean, it's just
okay. I just wanted to bring it up because it's supposed to
be bad Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. That's what it is.
Well, let's get into some of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight. Then there's not a lot. That's why we're kind of just talking about life right now, which is fun.
Hey, life happens.
So let's talk about Bad Batch because we've only got that and Army of the Dead to talk about this evening, and I definitely want to talk more about Army of the Dead than Bad Batch. So anybody who wants to start off, everybody knows my feelings. I'll give my feelings after everybody goes, but whoever wants to.
Sarah, you want to go first?
I'll be first. Yeah, I just watched the latest episode, and
okay,
it was cute. I mean, that's how I'm kind of looking at the Bad Batch. I think it's cute. I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's fun because it gives the feeling of, like Clone Wars, because you're just everybody's missing that because that was so great. But it's like they kind of add in like these little filler stories, especially with I mean, I don't know, do we want to talk spoilers or
Oh yeah, full spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'm just like, okay. Sometimes it's kind of hard to engage right at the very beginning because you're just like, okay, what's going
this
on?
episode about? Yeah.
Yeah. But then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna let it develop. Like a lot of things, just let it develop. And then they start talking about Moochie, which granted, I was kind of in the middle of making my daughter some dino nuggets, so I might have missed like a couple of things. But they were talking about Moochie, and I was like, whatever. And then it's like, oh, adolescent Rancor. I'm like, okay, well, this is cool. This is something interesting, which I did like the.
Oh, I know exactly where Joe's going.
Yep.
I see that face.
I think
I want to talk about it too, Joe. I want to talk about it too.
But what kind of creature was the other thing?
The little bird thing.
Yeah, I'm like, did that like
said,
come across from Pandora? Like with the from Avatar. I mean, what was that?
It reminded me a lot of the alien species that were in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, the one that Obi-Wan rides on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wasn't that like a lizard?
That was a lizard.
That was a lizard.
That was like more of a lizard type.
Yes, but it's not like it couldn't be a like cousin species. Like
yeah, because in Revenge of the Sith, it was a lizard that was mixed with a bird, and that's essentially what this is, but with less feathers.
And this one actually had the wings.
Yeah.
Well,
it was almost like a glider kind of.
Yeah, had the subtitles on. It was like BZARKA was what it was called.
Not Berserker, but
Berserker, something like that. Yeah,
something like that.
I have to go back and look at it, but if you put the subtitles on, it'll say like what species.
Yep, what is that? Yeah.
So, what kind of species were the slave traders?
I can't remember.
Because they look really cool.
They did look cool. I was going to comment that I need to see one of those guys in live action.
Yeah,
if not as like a Sith or a Jedi. They looked really cool.
Yeah, they look really cool. But anyways, I was like, okay, an adolescent Rancor. And then of course we figure out whose Rancor this ended up being, which I thought was really cool.
So let's jump on that real quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have seen the life of this Rancor.
Yes.
We have seen this Rancor die.
I put it together right the moment that Omega goes up to that cage. I put it together who Moochie was, and then immediately who Moochie was.
No, see, I didn't like as soon as I saw the Rancor, because we see I can never remember his name. The right hand of Java.
What's that?
Bib Fortuna.
Yeah, Bib Fortuna.
Yeah. So we see like his feet and his mouth within the holocron.
I didn't realize who that was. Yeah.
And I was like, oh snap. She's like, I was like, this job is for Jabba. Mm-hmm. And then when the Rancor came out, I was like, oh shit, that's a Rancor. Like 5 minutes later, my brain melted. I was like, oh no. Like they're making comments about how cute it is and everything else. And in my head, I'm just thinking about that cage just crushing Moochie.
I actually went back and had to watch that scene.
Nice. That's the same. As soon as I realized who Moochie was, I looked over at my girlfriend. I'm like, Moochie is the Rancor, and she's like, oh my God, why is Star Wars doing this to me? I'm like, ugh.
But that's what I mean. It seems like Bad Batch, they're like just taking they're filling in like little blanks, like little holes, or backstories, that kind of
Easter
thing.
eggs. These are
exactly
fun Easter eggs that don't. Mm-hmm. They're expanding the bigger world, but not ruining it much.
Yes. So it's really funny. It's really funny that you bring that up, because I'm actually writing a 800-word paper on The Mandalorian this weekend. Starting it tomorrow. I should have started it like 3 days ago, but I'm going to start it tomorrow. It's due tomorrow. It's due on Sunday. I'm starting it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Do your homework, kids.
You got this.
No, that's the best time to write. It's like right before. That's right before your deadline. That's the best time to write.
But I read 2 articles. One that is saying that The Mandalorian is basically like the blueprint of how every Star Wars piece of, future content or whatever should be made. Then I read an article about how, because of the rise of Skywalker has like muddled everybody's opinion on what Star Wars is, they're never gonna watch Star Wars again because they think, well, if I watch Mandalorian, I know that in the future of that universe leads to the Rise of Skywalker. But what Joe had said is exactly my argument, and it is exactly what I'm going to be writing in my paper. And that is that just because J.J. Abrams ruined your idea of what could have been like this awesome epic ending to the Skywalker saga doesn't mean it should detract you from watching other people's interpretations of this much larger universe, you know?
Well, and not even to mention, you know, you're talking about what, 13, if you include all Star Wars movies, 13, 14 movies in this franchise right now, you're going to let 12? Okay. You're going to let one make you decide you're done with Star Wars? That's it? No more?
Yeah, that's a little short-sighted.
It is short-sighted, but there's a lot of people that think that way.
Oh, I get it.
I agree.
Well, it's no different than going with like the MCU. We got the end with the saga with Endgame. Why do I need to watch Black Widow?
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it, but because I want to watch it. Star Wars, I get the argument of, yes, I didn't like. We know everything ends here with Rise of Skywalker, but that's the Skywalker saga. That's all that is. Those 9 movies are the Skywalker saga.
And there's so many other stories out there to be told, so you can't really
the Clone Wars movie, the Han Solo,
and look at that one.
Yes,
this guy's argument. This guy's argument, you can tell that he very much likes the format of the MCU because he kept saying it in his article.
Yeah,
but he's probably like regretting this article now because it was written last year in 2020. Now with Dave Filoni as the executive creative director. And how he has basically planned everything from Clone Wars to the Bad Batch to what is going to be the Ahsoka show. Like we will now have a more definitive plan for what's to come next. Like, and yeah, it may still be within the Skywalker saga, but some of those can branch out into other things.
That's what I look forward to.
Yeah.
But the beauty is, it's running parallel to the Skywalker saga. Skywalker and everything is off here in hiding on a planet, and we don't have to worry about that. Whereas Mandalorian now is plowing his run. Boba Fett is now ruling Tatooine. Like we're seeing other stuff going on in the galaxy. We don't gotta worry about Skywalker anymore. That story is start to finish. We're done. Now we're getting all the new stuff. We're getting all the other stuff, the side stuff.
All the other stories that are, storylines that are going on, because it's not necessarily just the Skywalker saga. Because, like I said, you have all these other characters that have their own arcs.
Well, look at it like a tree. Like imagine like the Skywalker saga is the main storyline that runs through the universe that affects the entire universe because of the Empire and the Sith Lords and the Jedi. So that's the tree. And then you have branches that branch off with all kinds of different stories you can use. And the best part about doing something like that is, like you said, if you have the Ahsoka show and the Mandalorian and Bad Batch and all these other different stuff going on, you can like different versions. And if you don't like this version, I don't have to watch that version, and I still have more Star Wars stuff that I can watch that I like better. It's great.
And one thing I will always say also, because Dave Filoni introduced it, whether he likes it or not, he introduced it, which means he could either bring it back or somebody else can bring it back. I will not ruin how it happens, Greg, but I'm going to tell you this. There is an open window to time travel in this universe. Yeah, you haven't seen Rebels, and there's something there, a huge part of the story that is there.
Okay.
And hopefully that piques your interest enough to finish that series.
Dude, Rebels.
Finish Rebels. Finish it.
I want to. I really do.
Good.
So I always tell people, like, if Star Wars for some reason, any reason, ends up becoming stale, if they decide to bring time travel into this, holy shit. Like you could ultimately, like, I know it's a very, very thin line to walk, but if you want to say, hey, we're going to alter some timelines here, Whew.
So are you talking like Avengers in-game time travel, or are you talking like Star Trek Kelvin timeline time travel?
I'm talking like.
Are you talking like they're gonna reboot the universe, or
no? I would say more Back to the Future.
I was gonna say it's Back to the Future mixed in with a little bit of in-game because of the way they play around with it. Okay, like so the mechanism is more in-game.
Here's the thing, though, because it's not even really.
Well, we don't know because they haven't really talked about the timeline.
Correct,
exactly.
True, but nothing really. All that happened was the one character got pulled out of that one moment in time, but then went back in 5 minutes later. So she never actually she did.
For a split second, she did.
Yes.
That's all you need in time travel.
That's all. Right? That's all we'll say because we don't want to ruin it.
I didn't mean to say she either. That was my bad.
No, you're good. I already know how like it ends and everything.
Okay.
So yeah, like there's.
Oh, but then again, we do have the other guy with all that. Okay, so never mind. We're good.
It can get crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Star Wars can get crazy, and I'm kind of. That's why I love this franchise, because you would have never guessed something like that could happen, but they introduced it. And with those things, I will always say, because Dave Filoni is a master of his craft, he doesn't do things on accident.
Yeah, he does.
He never does.
He doesn't use something and then just throw it away like, all right, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
He brings it back at some point in time.
He always brings it back. So there's always hope that some things can get very wild very quickly with Star Wars. And I will say this, because I will admit with Sarah, with what she said with the Bad Batch, this is a cute show because we open up with Omega with her communicator. And she's just like, fun. She's like, okay, it's not a toy, but she's still treating it like a toy. It's very much what a kid would do.
It's exactly what I would do.
And I'm still trying to figure her out because there's something. There was
a moment. There was a moment in here, and I know Omega is played by a woman, but in my mind, I was like, wouldn't it be freaking hilarious if they altered D. Bradley Baker's voice to sound like a woman in order to play the entire Bad Batch?
I mean.
Like not to take away the role of a woman. I'm just saying, like, if it's canon and she's a clone, then it should technically be the same. But I digress.
Right. Yeah, just adding on to what y'all are saying, cute is a good way to describe it, but it's not really how I wanted to describe my Star Wars stuff, I guess, is maybe why it doesn't sit right with me.
When I say cute, it's just because I guess it's the way they
the way
the storylines,
but they're like, also it's the way the Bad Batch is handling their relationship with Omega.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I will say it's very, because there was one point that I actually got a little upset. So they're planning this whole thing out, right? They're using the binoculars, and like even Omega is like, oh yeah, she looks really scared. And like, she's really getting into it. She's about to like, hey, I'm about to go in there. We're going to kick some butt. We're going to save some people. And then we're going to hightail it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, okay, back to the ship. And I'm like, I understand that you set some ground rules, but you need to go into detail with kids. You can't just say, hey, these are the rules. Joe, Sarah, Greg, you know how it is.
They just don't automatically like.
They don't, but I mean, there are certain things that you just need to be like, hey, do this. Don't question me, especially when it's life and death. And
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, because because also there is always the moment the hand is always going to reach for the hot stove.
Mm-hmm.
It always is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just curiosity. But
or always get the dog's face.
Exactly, Joe.
Look, I was 35. I didn't know what I was doing.
But also, like you see that they are going the distance in telling her what is okay and what is not, because she reiterated the rules.
Mm-hmm.
There was no rule that she could not be a part of the team. And then when they tell
they're
her,
kind of giving her mixed signals too, because they're saying she's a part of the team, but yet she's not.
exactly.
So it's like,
and that is both a good and a bad thing for the show. Good thing because it progresses their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Bad thing because it degresses their relationship. You know, so it is going to cause both conflict and growth within the show, which we need for these characters that we haven't really kept up with since their last appearance in the last season of Clone Wars.
Right.
You know,
sure, but it's also been this is the 5th episode. And the last 4 episodes, they've been telling Omega, "Hey, you stay on. Hey, you're part of the team, but you stay on the ship. Hey, you're part of the team, you stay on the ship." Like, let's maybe stop doing that at some point in time, because obviously what you're doing isn't working for you.
Well, I kind of look at it this way:
get their ass out of the fire.
I don't think they really look at her as like an equal part, because it's
Not
almost
yet.
like because I mean they're still protecting her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's almost like, you know, it's like a family unit. You know, you have everybody has their own
Role.
Everybody's trying to feel, they're trying to find their own way, just like Wrecker. You know, he has his own ways, and bless his heart. And then of course Hunter, he's more of like the, you know, big the fam, like the, I don't know if I'd say big brother. He's kind of more
Hunter's
like the father
dad
figure.
Yeah, he's the father figure.
And like the rest of the guys are more like the brothers, really.
Yeah.
And then Wrecker's kind of like that crazy uncle that you have that just doesn't care. But I mean, it just seems like, and they're trying to find everybody's trying to find their relationship and how they're kind of working this little unit they created.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like it's more focused on Hunter and Omega, because Hunter is getting very protective of her.
Yes.
And of course, you know, being a kid, you know, she gets herself in situations and she's very naive about, you know, very innocent and naive about a lot of things, because I mean, honestly, she hasn't experienced anything outside of Kamino.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So now you have Fennec Shand after them. So that's what they're trying to figure out, what's going on with that. So that's kind of an interesting little turn of events. So now it makes you wonder, it's like, okay, what exactly, who or what Omega is.
Mm-hmm. And I think for me, that's the thing. And, you know, I think Clay nailed it last week when he said this show is going to end up being about Hunter, Omega, and Crosshair. Like, that's what the show is about. Everybody else is kind of side characters filling in. My thing is, you know, Joe, you're right. We're in 5 episodes now, which I know 5's not a lot, but that is a third of the season. Like, a third of the season's all the way through. And and for me, when they even when you don't know who Fennec is or why you know, she's been sent, you know, there's a bounty hunter after her, and they even say at the end of this episode, like, there must be something to this girl. Then investigate that. Figure out what is going on with this girl. I mean, and she's obviously done a few things that show you she has some kind of powers. Work on training her to be part of the team. Now she's just like a little sister family member that you're protecting. Like, give her some armor, you know?
Well, they gave her a wristband, wrist communicator.
Sure. They did.
She has a communicator, so she's really
she has a really freaking awesome bow now.
Dude, which is
like,
awesome.
Yes.
So awesome.
That is freaking awesome. And I hope they let her keep that through this series, and that is her weapon.
Oh, that has to be.
I think they will.
I think there was a reason why they should, because she didn't use it.
They focused on it.
They showed her opening up.
When
they showed her like actually like try to like work it. And when she found out how to operate it, she turned it off, and then she kept walking, and you saw her again with it when they finally like tired out the Rancor. So you know she's gonna have it from here on out. Yeah. Like, that's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm really excited about that.
I want to see her in some little stormtrooper gear. You know?
Well, how about Wrecker and the Rancor with their little
fight?
They're duking it out.
Yeah.
Did anybody recognize any of the other voice actors in this show other than D. Bradley Baker and the rest of the crew?
I know one only because I looked it up when I was trying to find the Breezark creature thing.
Okay, which one did you find?
Sid. Rhea Perlman.
That's what I'm saying, because that voice sounded familiar, but
Rhea Perlman. I know her from a very fun childhood movie. Oh my God, Matilda was my thing. Mm-hmm. That's where I know her from. Now, she has been in a lot of other films. Of course, she was in the famous late night show for me, Cheers.
There you go.
Yes, you young folks don't know too much about that. That was when Ted Danson had hair.
Yes,
I will they, won't they?
And Woody Harrelson had hair too.
I watched.
He's got hair now.
Oh, holy crap! I mean,
is
it real? Come on.
Anyway,
I watched Cheers with my aunt and uncle when I was a kid, but I first knew her from the movie Matilda. I immediately recognized her voice whenever she came up, but the slave owners, I think the only person that might know this actor is Joe, because he's a fan of D&D. I don't know if you watch Critical Role or not.
I do not, but I might know the actor name. So
Critical Role is a group of voice actors who play D&D every Thursday night, and they live stream it. Yep. This actor, two of them, Liam O'Brien, he is very famous. He's done a lot of voice acting work. He was the voice of War in the video game Darksiders. Done a lot of stuff. He was the voice of the main slave trader, and then he was the voice of one of the Twi'leks that were the slaves. Okay. So immediately recognized his voice, and then I don't remember who Ketch was, but he is also a famous voice actor named Sam Riegel. So just random voice actors that, I think that's a really cool thing about this show as well. Even with Clone Wars and everything else, a lot of people reprising their roles, but then of course, because it's all voices, they get a lot of A-list voice actors on this show. So overall, and what I did notice is this is a very small cast for, like, other than the Bad Batch only being one person, but each episode has only had a credits of like 6 people.
I mean, I guess you don't really need a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Mandalorian did the same thing. They had maybe 3 to 4 in the first season. Like you didn't have a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's like I almost like the simplicity of it, honestly, because you don't have so much going on. I mean, you can actually kind of follow it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have all this.
Well, the same thing I told my friend at work earlier, and the same thing I was telling Clay before we started the show is I'm just not like I forget to watch this show sometimes before the podcast, and it's like, oh, that's right, I got to watch Bad Batch right for the podcast, or I'll put it off till right before because I'm just not excited for it. Like most of these weekly shows that come out, I'm really excited for that day to be able to watch it as soon as I can. I wake up early to watch it before I got to work, but just Bad Batch, I just don't feel that way, and I don't know if it's just because it's a continuation of Clone Wars, which I enjoyed Clone Wars, or if it's just because it hadn't picked up for me yet.
It may not be like with WandaVision, The Falcon Winter Soldier, Invincible. There was a drive to watch it because you were excited. Mm-hmm. These are exciting. I do definitely. I'm right there with you, Greg. It's exciting to watch, but it's definitely not high priority.
Right.
Well, you got to have a connection. I mean, because some characters you connect more with than others. So I mean, these are clone troopers. I mean, not a lot of people are going to have a connection to it. Yeah. But I mean, I just enjoy it because it's another facet to the story. Honestly,
yeah.
I mean, it's like, how did
we feel about the? Oh, look, Nathan is in the chat saying, "What's up, fellas?" Okay. What do we feel about the threat Sid basically gave Hunter at the end?
It wasn't a threat.
You say that it wasn't a threat. It was clearly a threat.
Oh no, it was a veiled threat. I know.
It was, hey, you work for me now.
Yeah,
that's what that was.
Yeah.
Did it seem weird to anybody they had those credits in the briefcase, and when they opened the little case up, it was just like credits just sprung all over the place? It wasn't like neatly stacked like you would imagine it would be. It was just like it was barely enough to fill the to even fill the briefcase. It was just like 25 credits in a briefcase.
I would really like to know the because I know what a $10 bill looks like. I know what a 20 bill looks like. I know what a 50 looks like. Credits, I have no idea the value in what they look like. So this to me looks like a pile of sticks. But if I think
Like
about
Dominoes.
exactly, if I think about the actual like mythos of Star Wars, I'm like, oh, those are credits, and in my mind that looks like maybe 20 credits. But is it really 20 credits, or do they have different values?
It's cryptocurrency.
Because I haven't noticed too much of like a color change with credits.
It's usually all silver. Yeah. Usually.
Let's see. Let's
Maybe he
check
has like,
it out.
I don't know.
These are the different kinds of credits in Star Wars. I thought maybe I should have checked it out before. I thought it was going to show me different videos. Well, I'm going to look that up because you had me interested. I was like, oh, that
Maybe
is
it
a good
has different
question.
markings
I'll check
on it. You know, if it's
Hey,
like
guys.
it looks the same, and maybe it can just has like different markings on it.
More
Maybe.
likely, yeah.
That's true.
So
sure.
there's something I want to bring up, and I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but this is the second episode where Wrecker is having a headache.
I did notice that. Yeah.
I think
It's
he's having.
concussions?
Well, yes, but I think he's
You
having
think his chip?
the chip is starting to malfunction. I think in like 2 to 3 episodes, he's probably going to have like a flip.
Mm.
And then
Do
they'll
you
have
think
to.
the entire Bad Batch is slowly
No.
going to turn?
No, I think what they're going to do is because I'm pretty sure Omega knows about the chip. They all know about the chip now, but I think they're going to be able to either get the chips out or reverse the process. But there's going to be an episode where Wrecker is against the team. I can see it.
That's a good point. I did notice that he talked about his head hurting and walked away. It was like, oh, it's nothing. And I wanted to bring that up.
There was like 2 episodes ago it happened. The episode when he made Omega a room, like he was complaining about his head hurting.
Mhm.
And there was nothing I can think of. The only time I could think of where he hit his head really hard, I guess, is when Finnick knocked him out.
Yeah, when he ran into the pole. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was between though. That was between those two.
That was between
times
those two. Yeah.
that he said he had a headache. So,
But just like what Sarah said, I feel like a lot of fans may think that way also. Because even outside of that, when he was fighting the Rancor and even just running around, he was getting knocked around pretty hard.
yeah,
So it
True.
may be this like, oh, he's just a hunk of a guy that gets beat up a whole bunch.
Okay, well, number one, who in their right mind would say, "Oh, Rancor? Oh, we have to,
Let's throw
determine
down.
supremacy."
the baby Rancor.
right, let's do
It's
it.
fine.
Yeah.
No.
Adolescent Rancor.
No,
Do it.
I don't care. It's a Rancor.
He is going
I
to
don't
be
care.
on his ass.
Oh,
Wrecker doesn't make
okay.
all the most the best choices, but
No,
that's not his
fine.
job. You know,
that's Hunter's job.
he's Hulk. He's just there to smash. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Take it. I had one more thing I wanted to say, but wanted to bring up about it. But I can't remember what it was now. We always start. Oh yeah. So we're talking about the chip. Have we talked about, does Omega have a chip?
I doubt it, but you never know.
I mean, because she's a clone, right?
Yeah, but the Caminos were cloning way long before the
Gotcha.
Republic conscripted them to make soldiers. So
Okay. Yeah, that's true. I guess they could make them without the chips.
yeah,
Well, all right. Well, anything else you want to bring up about Bad Batch? Like, it continues. We got a few more weeks of it, and hopefully it's going to pick up for me. Like I said, this episode wasn't bad. Just wasn't anything really exciting.
What, this is episode 5, so we still have 11 weeks left?
11 weeks.
I will, like I said, I will say this episode about the end, you're just like, so at least you did have a little bit of emotion to it.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
you
it'll
got a
be
little light bulb
it'll be
going off.
interesting now because we're going to see the Bad Batch working almost, I guess it's like mercenaries, bounty hunters.
Yeah. mercenaries.
So do
yeah.
you think that Disney Plus will go in and with the subtitles whenever Moochie roars in Return of the Jedi for the last time, it'll say Moochie?
Oh, that would be cool.
Why you gotta be an
That'd
asshole?
really cool. hey, subtitles are great. I'm telling you, I watch it.
No, they
That's
are.
that's
They
when
are
I
great.
knew, because whenever you see the first time we were talking about Jabba's right hand man in the hologram,
Yeah.
it said speaking Huttonese underneath it before you even saw who it was, or I was like, oh, okay, cool. So gives little clues. I love subtitles.
Poor Moochie.
I used to hate him, and my friend kept telling me, he was like, just watch him with subtitles, and now I can't watch anything without subtitles.
Well, I watch everything with subtitles. It's great.
Yeah, I have to now. But all right, cool. Well, we'll get back to Bad Batch next week, and I guess we'll hop on to this last little thing we got to talk about here, a new Zack Snyder film on Netflix. Look, I'm not a zombie guy. I've never really been into zombies. The only thing zombie I could really do was like I enjoyed I Am Legend, but I never watched Walking Dead. I never watched any of those. What are the Woody Harrelson zombie movies with
Zombieland?
Zombieland. Yeah, never watched that. Just was never really into it. Horror's not my thing. Okay.
Resident Evil? Probably not. No.
I've seen Resident Evil, but it's not really my thing. Like I'm not like dying to watch. I'll watch it if somebody wants to watch it with me or whatever. Or if somebody wants to watch it and I'm there. But yeah. But I've gotten more into it lately, and I finally watched Walking Dead, and now I'm starting to get more into this. And I really enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to, especially because it had Batista in it. And I know that I have shared my love for Batista as an actor. But I'll eat a little crow tonight because I thought he did a really good job in this role for what he was doing. This was a role set for him, and I really, really enjoyed his performance. I had a great time watching the movie. It's something that I'll probably go back and watch again. And I'm wondering if we're going to get a sequel. So,
it's going to be a franchise.
Yeah, okay. we're getting a prequel. That one's already, I think, finished up. Should be coming out soon. And we're getting a prequel. Well, we're getting a series, animated series,
an animated series that's going to be based off of Dieter.
No, the movie is based off Dieter.
Okay,
I think the series, if I remember correctly, I think it's based. Chris would know better than I would. I don't remember, but we are getting a series, animated series in that world.
Okay.
Well, I'm just gonna say this. I am gonna be in the same boat that I was in with Mortal Kombat.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
I only saw like the opening credit. That's all I've seen.
Why?
Oh wow.
Okay, so
because it's like my initial impression of it. I was just like, zombies are just not my. I've seen Zombieland, and that's just something that's never really pulled me in. Now it looks like it could be, and I'm sure eventually I will see it. But it was funny because we were sitting in the living room. Brian's like, watch this. I knew exactly what it was as soon as he started. I was like, okay, I'll watch it. I could tell it was a Zack Snyder movie. I mean, I could tell. I was like, it's pretty intense, and I'm sure it's. But I don't know. It just really didn't draw me in. Like I said, it's not really my genre.
Okay.
But man, it was just from the opening. I was like, wow, this is pretty intense.
It's a bit much, but I will say this
exactly.
It's a bit much, and it's a bit too much time. It's a bit too much theories. It's a bit too much. Like, I think people overhype this movie. And I'm saying this as a huge Zack Snyder Justice League fan. This is me as hey, Man of Steel is my number one DC movie. Like, I love Zack. But I felt this coming when I saw people jump ship from Restore the Snyderverse to Netflix. I'm like, they're probably going to expect too much from this film. And there are people out there. I'm not saying that this is you, Joe, because I know it's not you. And I'm not saying this for Greg. Like, there's people out there that it doesn't matter who made it. It doesn't matter what it is or what. If they have this notion of, hey, it's going to be good, they will keep that mindset regardless of anything that happens in that movie. And they're like, it was the greatest thing in the world, because people just love to be exuberant about the stuff that they like.
That's fair.
There's people like that in comics. Joe, you know this as well.
Way too much.
This movie, I was like, I have 2.5 hours to kill. Let me watch this movie.
To kill.
Within the first hour, I was on my phone 3 times.
Ooh.
Wow.
That is never a good sign for me.
No,
now, granted, I have
here's what you gotta do. You gotta watch the movie on your phone, so then you cannot be on your phone.
You can't get on your phone.
That's what I did.
Joe, I have 1 screen, 2 screen, and now a brand new MacBook Pro. Like,
humble brag.
And also a tablet. An iPad.
Continue with your story. I just wanted to jump in there.
So I'm just saying, like, this movie, there was concepts of this movie that I really did enjoy. I'm not going to say this was a bad movie. I am going to say that it was overhyped, and at best, it was a good movie. It wasn't a great movie. It wasn't an amazing movie, but it was a good movie. Okay. I'm not just gonna be here and say, "Oh, it was a bad movie."
That's fair. And I can see what you're saying, because I'm by no means saying it's an amazing movie, but I enjoyed it. You know, I thought it was a good. I think I may have enjoyed it a little more than you, but I get where you're coming from with that. And there are some things that bother me about it that I wrote down that I want to talk about, or maybe not bother me, but questions that I'm sure we're going to go through. But Joe, are you the tiebreaker, man? Are you, overall thoughts?
Well, so I was on Slice of Film with Katie and Chris talking about it. I think that just came out yesterday or today. Okay. I had a lot of fun with it. I agree with Clay. It's not the best movie in the world, but I also came into it knowing it's a zombie movie. I don't care about the director. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Zack Snyder. I love what he's done for the DC universe, but really just comic book movies in general. But I'm not watching his films because he made the films. I'm watching a film because I want to see. I like that genre. I like zombies. Going into it, I'm not up here. I'm here. It's a zombie film. There's tropes left and right. You know what you're getting into.
Well, for me, I'm just like Greg. I am not a horror guy. Joe, you saw me play
Until Dawn. Yes,
Until Dawn. And
I
recently,
laughed the entire time.
And recently, I played. What was the one with the redheaded girl? I can't remember what it was. But also, I am currently playing Resident Evil 8. I can only play that game an hour at a time because my anxiety levels go through the freaking roof. I do not do scary. I hate clowns. Go ahead, Sarah.
No, you're talking about anxiety. I will say this from the opening scene. When they blocked off and created that wall, and you had like this wall of, I said, no. I said, you know what? I'd have to, I couldn't. I said,
there's so many moments in this movie where I would completely freeze as an individual in that world. I
would die.
I would just be like, hey, you know what? I'm okay with dying at this moment because I'm not even going to go near those hibernating zombies. Fuck that. Yeah. But
it's like a Borg. Don't go near a Borg.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. But for me, I had
Mm-hmm.
one expectation in this movie. One expectation. And that is this movie's going to have a jump scare where I'm going to say, God damn it, because it got me. I did not get that. And that is why it's a little bit of a letdown.
Okay.
For a movie that is in the horror genre, but also, let's be completely honest, this movie was to get people into zombie movies. This wasn't hey, this is a zombie movie. This is an action zombie movie that anybody can watch.
Well, it's a heist movie.
Yes.
With zombies in it.
With zombies, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to lie. Honestly, the only reason I would watch this is because it is a Zack Snyder film. That would be the only reason.
And you want to know something? That honestly, Zack Snyder's my favorite director. That was my main reason for watching this. Now, watching it, I'm not saying that it's great just because Zack Snyder made it. Like I said, I enjoyed it. It has its problems, but that was my drawing to it. Was Zack
that
Snyder
would be my only motivation.
I like his movies, so
that I will be honest. That was like one or two on my list of motivations to watch this. For me personally,
it was on there. Same. It was on there for me too.
I've become more of a, whatever high profile movie comes out for any streaming service, I want to at least try that movie because it's going to be something that everybody's going to be talking about.
Yep. Especially last year, this year, streaming services are the new thing right now. So Netflix is doing a new movie every week. This is
I've got two that are on my list right now. So.
Next week's movie is going to be pretty fun.
Which one's next week?
That's the one with Chris Pratt and J.K. Simmons.
Tomorrow War.
Oh yeah.
Looks really good.
On Amazon.
That's coming out next week.
Yeah.
On Prime.
Yeah.
Holy! I thought it was July.
I thought it said June 2nd. Maybe it was July 2nd.
I am going to look it up right now.
Was it July 2nd? Okay. Either way, it's
what is it called?
The Tomorrow War. It's on Amazon Prime.
Clay, you raised a great point. There were no jump scares in this movie, and I expected to have a few just because it's that kind of movie. there were a few moments where I was kind of like on the edge of my seat, like, holy crap, what's going to happen? Holy crap, what's going to happen? And like one of them specifically being, and we're going full spoilers, when they're walking through the zombies that are hibernating, the whole time I'm sitting there like, okay, what's going to happen, but just waiting for the moment that it's going to happen, when they're going to wake up.
It's July for the Tomorrow War.
It's July. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other moment for me was the helicopter at the end, like the helicopter ride at the end. I'm like, holy crap, what's going to happen? Like, I don't know why. It had me on the edge of my seat. Like, how are they going to get out of this? What's going on? I enjoyed those moments. You're right. There were no jump scares, and I fully expected that. But I don't know. There were some pretty cool things about this one, I thought.
Well, and one thing that surrounds this movie that does make it an interesting topic, but not necessarily one to be like, oh, I need to see the next movie. And Sarah, I don't know if you've heard anything about this, but there is so much of like hidden Easter eggs and things that are going on in this movie that you're only supposed to catch via like your second viewing or your fourth viewing. The fact that there was robot zombies, that
hold on, I caught that the first time.
Yes, so did I. The fact that there are 2 alien UFOs in the opening scene of the movie. Like, there are so many things out here that are supposed to get you to start thinking, well, what is this movie really about? You know,
I didn't notice either of those.
So,
right at the
if
beginning,
you notice, there's moments in the zombie hordes, because it happened more than once. There's zombie hordes with bright blue eyes. And then Batista ends up shooting one with his machine gun or a shotgun or whatever right to the face, and the flesh pops off, and you see like Terminator style robot.
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
How can you have a robot zombie?
Hold on, though. Hold on. At the very end, and we're going spoilers in this because I got a question about that. When he kills the very last one, the king.
So
it was blue.
It was blue whenever he.
So that is just a new interpretation of zombies, because another thing, Sarah, we're just kind of going all spoilers and ruining for this.
That's perfectly fine.
I don't think she's going to watch it anyway.
Yeah.
Zombies are doing the dirty and got another zombie pregnant, and that's when he like rips open the stomach and grabs through the fetus this baby that was inside the zombie, and you saw the blood was blue and glowing and stuff. So we already knew that they had like weird blood.
Right.
That's some alien shit.
But they're the super zombies, right?
That's where the aliens in the beginning come in.
They're like alpha. They're like
weird.
alphas, because
Right.
they called them alphas. Were these other smarter zombies?
Right. They're faster, they're stronger, they're smarter. Yeah.
Exactly.
So they negotiate with them.
Okay, have we like totally redefined a zombie in this movie? Is that what I'm understanding?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So they're not slow zombies. And with these smarter alpha ones, they kind of keep the same characteristics of who they were, because like at one point there was like a parkour karate zombie. And I was like, how the fuck is this supposed to work? His body is decaying. One jump and his legs are gone. Like, what is up with
but
this?
see, that's the thing. The alphas, are you just talking about the alphas, or are you talking about zombies in general?
Like, just in general, that's what zombies are supposed to be. But we know that they explained the alphas as like mutated.
Right.
Yeah, they're I think what with the hierarchy that Coyote says, you got Zeus, the king, and then you've got the alphas, which are just below. They're the smart ones. They're the ones that
are directly mutated by Zeus.
Yeah, anytime Zeus bites them, they become alphas. Anytime Alpha bites a person, they become the shamblers, the ones on the out. They become the traditional zombies. The way I think I equated it to is like a pyramid scheme. You got the guy at the top, you got two guys that underneath here, then they kind of trickle down.
Yeah.
So, okay, probably because if I do watch this movie, it's going to be a minute. The whole, like you said, it's like you kind of kill like the king, Zeus, or whomever you're talking about. Where in the hell did he come from?
So we don't know.
Well,
that's
and I wanted to ask
Invisible
you.
ships.
That's a theory.
Okay.
There's so many theories about what's going on, because there's also moments, and Greg, I noticed this. Joe, I don't know if you noticed this. There is zombie pixels in your movie. So if you hear rain, I'm sorry, it just started to pour outside. There's moments in this movie where you watch, there's going to be a white dot on your screen, a very small white dot.
Oh, God,
I got
don't
so
tell me that
annoyed.
because that will drive me nuts.
I got so annoyed by this. Now, it only happened. Yes, it happened a few times, but it's like usually around the dead center. There's some on the like. It doesn't really. I don't exactly remember where, but I noticed them because I thought it was something on my screen, and I paused it and like tried to wipe it, and then like all of a sudden, because of my ADHD, I thought, oh, it was just something that my brain was fucking with. No, this is actually legitimately something that they did to the film because they wanted to add another aspect to, holy crap, that rain is loud, to the movie. There are dead pixels. You can Google this. Army of the Dead pixels.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would drive me insane.
So, question I want to ask about this king and this queen. Well, two things really I want to ask. One, is it the couple at the beginning?
No, they're done dead.
Okay.
No, they are done dead.
Done dead. Okay. And two, we've seen this before in a zombie movie. In I Am Legend, don't they have kind of a hierarchy of zombies there too?
So they're
yes,
but those aren't zombies. Those are infected people.
Okay.
And also, if you read the book, they're not even zombies; they're vampires.
Yeah,
which is why they don't like the sunlight in the movie.
Okay.
So,
well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I noticed one thing they mentioned, but they didn't you never see or touch on was when they first walk into the behind the walls and they see the piles of zombies and they talk about the rain brings them back to life for a few hours.
Yeah, they reanimate or whatever.
And we never saw that.
No.
So I'm wondering why they dropped it in there if you never see it.
I feel like they just mentioned it because again, Zack doesn't do anything without, just like how freaking Dave Filoni doesn't just like throw something out there. He's got a purpose. So I am betting that we will see this again, either in the sequel, in the prequel, or whatever.
Right.
Like I think dropping a hint, basically.
Yeah, he's throwing something out there for the fans who are really dedicated to pick up Easter eggs. I think that's the reason.
Okay. All right. A few things I want to go over with this one that I wrote down. First of all, I want to play Call of Duty with everybody who's in this movie because every single one of them can just hip fire headshots like nothing else, and it's crazy.
Well,
that's
they all have practice.
Batista is Phoenix.
I've had a lot of practice with a weapon. I guarantee you, with a gun. I guarantee you, I couldn't hit a headshot every time. But that means
when you're trying to escape.
That's true. That's true. Desperation
zombie horde. You're gonna have a lot of pressure.
Your aim gets good.
Yeah.
But that draws me to the first question I have here. Is in the beginning of the movie, the first zombie gets out. Okay, with the car wreck, and there's like 8 or 9 soldiers around him right then, and all of them are firing at him. Okay, even 4.
Oh no, they hit him. They do hit him because when you see him, he's got bullet wounds.
They just don't hit him in the head.
None of them hit him in the head.
Civilians.
None of them hit him in the head. Like seriously,
no.
All of these other civilians.
Yeah.
The YouTuber that got famous for headshotting 4 zombies in a row.
Yeah.
Goose, I like.
He's able to get him, but a trained military official
Time out.
was unable to hit something in the head.
Did you guys not watch it when they were firing? He was dodging.
Yes, he was.
He was like, he's a
okay. I get it.
Okay, so this is where the conspiracy theory comes in of the aliens. Whatever was tested on this soldier, he was a military soldier. He had dog tags.
Okay.
Zeus had dog tags. He volunteered for this thing.
Yeah.
So he's already properly trained. Became this alpha mega level zombie.
So that was Steve Rogers gone bad.
Basically. Yes. There you go. There you
go. And he just took out a whole city. So he's being attacked and they're trying to kill him. Now they don't know exactly what it is. Even Jimmy Olsen and his partner there on the hill were like, we gotta go, we gotta get away. They don't know what it is, they just know it's some beast. They're just firing to kill. Well, guess what? When you fire, yes, you're supposed to do what, like mass shot here and mass shot in the head. But when the thing is coming at you and running at you and dodging your bullets, what you gonna do?
Right, but isn't
I
that the
would
same?
die.
Isn't that the opposite argument we just made about them being able to hit every headshot? These people who weren't soldiers being able to hit every headshot.
Sure.
It's one of those things we just got to leave it be, I guess, because there's no movie if they kill him right there, right?
Exactly.
I'll
How
say-
great would the movie be?
I will say
But
bad
also-
like it was too dark. They couldn't see. Their flashlights didn't reach.
Good reasons, yeah.
Sure.
But also, did anybody notice like how long? I didn't get a timeline. How long from when they first infected Las Vegas to like where we're at the beginning of like, hey, this is the mission. And the reason why I asked this is because there's, of course, the opening scene where we see Batista and who we assume is his wife or loved one that dies with her daughter when the shipment crushes them.
That was sad.
And then we get another flashback to Batista already moved on to another woman who also has a daughter because he had to stab her in the head.
No, I don't think
the first one that got crushed was his wife and daughter.
Correct.
I think it was just people that were with him.
Yeah.
Okay, because it looked like there was a little bit of like an affection, relationship, whatever between them. That's why.
Maybe.
That's why I was like, I don't know. Batista's getting a little hanky panky during the zombie apocalypse, gutting around. So I was just confused as of how.
Hearing you guys talk about this and all these scenes, I'm like, no, you'd
have fun with
so
it.
It's very confusing. It's just very confusing. And I will say, this movie being 2 hours and 30 minutes, it didn't need to be that long.
I didn't mind it. Long movies don't bother me. I guess I don't know.
I watched it all the way through. I didn't stop it, but it felt like a very long 2 hours and 30 minutes.
To answer your question, Clay, the anime series, the prequel anime series, which I did look up, it's called Lost Vegas. That will be telling the story of the time from the outbreak to the quarantined or them shutting off Las Vegas. And then the other prequel movie, Army of Thieves, will be touching on Dieter and don't go into his story. So we will get a time for it. My guess is months. It's got to be a couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple months from
the outbreak from the no. Like
okay, I was about to say,
like,
wow, it's fast turnaround.
Well, the movie's already done. The movie was finished up last year, so it's just a matter of Netflix releasing it.
Now, also, was it like just like a like, hey, I'm interested in being in this franchise, or is Joe Manganiello in the prequel?
I think he's in the prequel series. I think he's in Las Vegas because he was promoting it. So that's my assumption.
It looked like him in like this little like snippet, like where his face was all bloody or whatever, and he was holding a gun. So I'm interested in that. Anything with Manganiello.
If it's him trying to push to be in it, good. Yeah. If I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that man with his shirt off? Holy cow! Like he could run for his money with Cavill on Man of Steel. Holy crap!
Yeah, he's a big fella.
But also one, because I'm pretty sure, Greg, this is gonna be in your notes just because it was a big part of the theories inside of the fandom of this movie. We have I forget his name, but mention the time loop possibility.
Vanderho.
Yes.
That is awesome.
So what's his name in the movie?
Vanderho.
Okay, so Vanderho, they're about to go into the vault, right? And there's all of these people that are already dead. Not zombies, because they're just dead. They're skeletons at this point. And everybody's like, oh man, look, these are just people who have attempted to get into this vault and they just died. And Vanderho's like, or they're us. And Dieter starts to look at each individual skeleton, and they're all wearing clothes that each character has worn throughout the movie.
Is wearing currently, yeah.
Or that
I noticed the chain.
Well, because they do the skeleton, and then they do the flash of the person.
Yeah. So it's the Hawaiian shirt that the pilot was wearing when they met up to figure out the plan. all of it. Like they're all showing the possibility.
Maria was the one with the chain. And
Vanderhoof is like, maybe we're stuck in a time loop where we just keep on trying to attempt this and we never make it out.
Yeah.
And like it kind of gets you questioning, like, how the fuck do you come out with that idea? Like, what's wrong with you? You know,
it is pretty crazy.
There's a lot wrong with them.
And it's pretty crazy.
But
I'm here for it.
There is a lot wrong with them because of what happens at the end of the movie. But
which is impossible. Which we'll get into that.
Is impossible unless it's a part of the time loop. And I'm telling you, people
I didn't think about that one.
People have thrown so many theories out here already. I am pretty sure, I'll have to double check. I'm pretty sure there's a whole subreddit on this movie already.
I'm sure there is.
Of people throwing their theories.
Like a week and a half, 2 weeks is fine, yeah.
So, Sarah, at this point, just because of your reaction to the 2 hours and 30 minutes, I'm not sure if you're entirely into watching this movie. But we're going to go ahead and spoil something for you because I think it's a very important part of this movie.
I don't mind a movie being that long, but it has to be a movie that I
really want to watch.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
So Zeus, we know, is the alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Vanderhoof, yes, Vanderhoof, in a promo picture in the film, also has a tattoo of the Omega symbol on his chest, the Alpha and the Omega. Mm-hmm. This is all part of the theories that's going on right now.
Huh.
So there's a moment where Zeus takes a whole freaking crusade of these alphas into where the vault is, and they start to fight every single person. And Vanderhoof is like, "Oh, I got this," and wants to be a badass, and starts to hand-to-hand combat with Zeus. And just like Joe said, he is a trained official in the military.
Yeah, Zeus is.
They are going at it. And there's one moment where Zeus is about to chomp a piece of Vanderhoof's arm, and Dieter gets him out of the way by hitting him and then pushing him inside the vault and closing the vault.
Yep.
At that point, he is safe, like, because no other person has been able to open that vault.
Well, safe is relative because
there is flaws.
No air.
Right.
There is flaws in that whole thing. I understand this, but that happens, right? Then, at the very end of the movie, we find out that the president has said, "Hey, instead of blowing this thing up in 3 days, let's blow it up right now."
Yeah, in an hour.
Right. And so there's a nuclear weapon about to blow up all of Las Vegas. And I just got a very quick flashback to a very famous comic that I'm reading right now. Joe, I think you'll know. If not, I'll text you. But I'm rereading. That'll give you a hint. But this nuclear weapon comes in at the last minute, right? And destroys all of Las Vegas. There's only one survivor, which is the daughter of Batista. Mm-hmm. And then we see Vanderhoof just climb out of the wreckage with 6 bags full of money, finds his way to a trailer, grabs the car, and drives to this random, just out of nowhere freaking airport, gets a private jet, and is on his way to New Mexico. Mm-hmm. While he's in there, he does not look so hot, and he is not acting great. He goes into the restroom, he washes his face off, and then he looks in the mirror, and right on his arm, where Zeus was going to bite him, because we didn't see him bite.
Well, you saw him bite down. He just didn't rip.
No, he didn't bite.
No,
he didn't bite. Oh, okay.
Before
his mouth did not make contact.
Before he got to his arm, Dieter ripped him off.
So he has a bite, and then he just looks at the mirror and says, "Fuck," and then the movie ends. The movie ends right there. That's how the movie ends. And so people are now thinking, how the fuck did this happen? Because again, he did not get bit. What is going on? And so now people are thinking Vanderhoof is in a time loop. Nobody else is. He is stuck in a time loop,
Huh.
just like freaking Groundhog Day.
Mm.
Huh.
And he got
That's
bit.
interesting.
But the power of Zeus and the Omega, as well as his mutation, which helped him survive the nuclear fallout.
That's what I was.
It's fine. It was a low yield.
Yeah.
There's a lot of flaws, but let's face it, we're now living in a world with zombies. So the truth can be extended to whatever extent Zack Snyder wants to create. He is making the rules to this franchise.
Right.
Although he's not setting out the rules so that way people can have conversations like this.
Exactly.
So what do you guys think?
I want to know about this tiger.
The tiger.
Tell me about the tiger.
So the tiger was one of Siegfried and Roy's tigers, and somebody gets Siegfried treatment later on.
He gets the just desserts with that tiger for sure.
I know because I've seen the tiger and I'm just like, okay.
The tiger
there is zombie horses. There's a zombie horse that Zeus rides at one point.
You know, I thought a zombie dog in Resident Evil 2 was like amazing back in the day. This is just batshit crazy. I love it. I'm here for it.
Crazy.
Well, for me, what terrified me the most was in Resident Evil 5, the zombie monkeys.
I know. See, I never played 5.
Yeah,
I haven't played anything past 4, which is kind of on me.
Man.
4 was amazing. But I want to play 7. I want to play 8, but we're not there. That's a whole different thing.
I hear you. No, now that you mentioned that, and I haven't looked up anything about this, and I did remember the time loop thing he was talking about, and I wonder if there's anything to it. But that actually does kind of make sense if they're going to, maybe start a franchise or a whole universe with this, and that would be nuts.
Well, and
it's a crazy concept.
Because we're building this world and they're starting to build it out. Yeah, we've got 2 prequels coming out. We definitely want to continue on. Obviously, with Vanderhoof being infected, going to Mexico City, we're getting a whole new outbreak. Could it expand to the world, or could they do what they did with Vegas and block it off again? Mm-hmm. And now, since it's Mexico and they don't have the resources that America has, will it just be there? Like, I don't know.
Oh, man. That is weird.
So it's one of those things where you have to. I like the idea. I've heard the idea of Zeus being the Alpha, Vanderhoof being the Omega, and it just basically being the beginning ending. Another thing I read, and this is straight somebody's theory, is that the time loop is a thing for Vanderhoof, but he is also Zeus. So it's the time loop is that he is Zeus and Omega, and it's just him going around.
You're just going to straight up turn a black dude into a white dude?
That's what the thing is. It's not me. That's not my assumption. I'm just saying that's what they said. Look, he likes me. He likes Michael Jackson. Okay, fine. I don't say that's the theory. I'm not saying that's right, because it doesn't make sense at all. Because I don't think and I could be completely wrong, but I don't think Vanderhoof has any military training. Like I said, Zeus had dog chains, dog tags. Like
I'm pretty sure Vanderhoof was ex-military.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure
because he was like he had a degree in philosophy or something.
Oh, I thought that he had some sort of dog tags as well. I'll have to double check.
I don't know. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, it'd be interesting. I had a badass saw.
Yeah.
Love that thing. I'm trying to think. Some of the characters.
Did you guys like how the whole plot of Kate, the daughter, was to go get Greta, and then she gets Greta and then says, fuck Greta?
I absolutely hate that entire plot. This movie, for some of those reasons, are super dumb. The whole point of this woman going into this zombie hoarded Las Vegas
is to find her friend.
Hey, I need to find my friend. And then when they find her and they start to leave, they're like, oh, by the way, we're all going to die.
Yeah. Well, what the most irritating part for me about that was, and that's one thing I did write down, is I don't like that of all the everybody dies except the one person that caused everybody to die.
Yeah.
Like she's
Yeah,
the
she
reason
totally
that every
fucked
one
up
of them
everything.
dies pretty much, and she's the only one that survives. And it's like, oh,
that's
come on,
what I
man.
said earlier. Like it's a zombie movie. You know the tropes going in. Like
Right.
I'm sitting there saying, oh yeah, you're gonna die. You're definitely gonna die. You're more than likely gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
I was definitely surprised. I thought Batista had plot armor. I thought he was actually gonna survive. I knew Kate was gonna survive. Like that was just like, okay, cool. I wasn't like Peters was yay or nay because pilots almost always die.
Right.
But then again,
badass character though.
She was pretty awesome.
Awesome character.
But then again, like they're going in to save Greta, whatever the heck her name was. Like, okay, maybe she'll survive. Like, that makes sense. We've got the story of, she's got her 2 kids, and the whole reason Kate's going in is to save her, to get her out, to get her to her kids.
Mm-hmm.
No, everybody dies. Everybody's gone. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the kids are dead too. It's like
well, the kids are fine. Like they'll get.
Well, they were just outside the city. They got nuclear.
No. Everybody got evacuated. Like they took out.
Okay.
Everybody that was in those encampment was on that last bus out.
That makes sense. But that just bothers me, man. Like I said, that was one thing that definitely I wrote down at the end. I can't stand when the person that causes everybody to die is the only person that survives. It's like,
it was. I will say, so there at the end, there's a government helicopter that shows up to pick her up, and the whole reason for Martin's character, the character that was the bodyguard of the guy that contracted Batista's team to go in there. Yeah. His whole mission was to get zombie blood, alpha blood.
Yeah.
Well, Batista's character, Ward, he got turned. The government wanted that.
Yeah.
There's a whole body right there of zombie blood.
But it wasn't the government that wanted it, right? It was.
Oh no, it was the government because what's his name? He was there was three government agents.
There was one scene where, like, immediately after he got off the phone, he turned around and said he's in, and you saw 3 government officials.
Yep, and they're all like, yes,
military personnel.
Yes,
okay.
Because they're wanting to make zombies into the
zombie army
military weapon,
which is why they sent in robot zombies to go and try to extract something,
breaking it down.
Keep an eye on them.
Why
the aliens are there?
That's right.
I'm telling you, dude, watch the opening scene again. There's a scene where you see,
like, it's a guy standing there, and then you see 2 lights fly off.
Yeah, you see 2 bright lights fly off.
I noticed it immediately because I'm watching this at work, and so it's one of those things where I can watch it, but I have to do my job, so I'm paying attention as much as I can. And that scene happens, and I'm like, it flies off, and I'm like, did they just fire a missile after the convoy? Like, what the hell? It clicked in my head later on what was going on. And then the same with the robot zombie that we saw. Like, Batista's character shoots him in the face. He goes flying down, and it's a robot zombie. I'm like, wait, hold on. Like, I saw that the first time through, and it shocked me and surprised me. I'm like, okay, I've seen this movie twice already. I've watched it 2 times, and I do want to watch it again. Like, I enjoyed this movie. I had fun with it.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. I want my wife to see it. I think she'll like it.
I would definitely watch this over Mortal Kombat. I think I had a lot more fun with this than I did with Mortal Kombat. But I like Mortal Kombat.
I can agree with you on that too. I liked Mortal Kombat, but I definitely would watch this again before I watch Mortal Kombat.
Clay, would you watch this again?
If I had the choice between the 2, I would watch this before I watch Mortal Kombat. But I will not willingly watch freaking... Because Mortal Kombat was 2 hours, right? Wasn't it 2 hours?
Just under 2 hours.
Freaking 4.5 hours of movies of Mortal Kombat and this? No.
Suck it, Warner Brothers.
Again. Oh, well, that was nice also. I don't know if you saw that, Greg. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert and Zack Snyder. basically Stephen Colbert just looked dead in the camera and said, "Suck it, Warner Brothers." And then Zach was like,
"There's like, hey,
oh,
his words, not mine,
not my words, but yeah, suck it, Warner Brothers."
Yeah,
So,
nice, very nice. I'm gonna look that up. Well, I mean, it's I looked at the audience score. It's got on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got a 69 on Rotten Tomatoes, 76% audience score. So
yeah, I think it's on track currently to get like 72 million households in 4 weeks. That's what was that stat, Clay? Was that what Netflix is saying? Or
that was Netflix themselves.
Yeah, they're projecting it to be in 4 weeks' time.
Netflix never shares numbers, by the way.
No.
Yeah. Well, Clay, you're the first person I've met that's seen this movie that didn't like. I mean, I'm not saying you didn't hate it, but it wasn't like, oh man, I enjoyed that. I want to see it again, or I'm excited for a sequel.
It just like I said, and it might just be me as a moviegoer, unfortunately. But for me, I cannot go into a movie and say I have zero expectations.
I hear you.
Like, unless it is literally a movie that I've never heard of, never seen any still photos of, don't know any characters, and don't know any actors. Like, I have to have somewhat of an expectation. It's just what it is. Batista, I have to have somewhat of an expectation because of what I've seen in his prior films. Mm-hmm. That's just how I see movies.
One of the things I didn't like, and I like Batista's like acting. Mm-hmm. One thing that took me out of it was his acting, the one-on-one acting. Like, that to me didn't seem genuine, especially with his daughter. Like that scene was like, okay, you guys have a connection, but I'm not getting that connection.
His love interest, his one that was like, oh, I'm gonna tell. We only have 3 minutes left before the bomb gets here, so I'm gonna spill my heart out real quick. That woman, she was a big waste of space. Like,
she helped out till that moment that they all
the entire movie, she did nothing, and then at the last minute, she was like, "Hey, I love you," and then right after she said that, freaking Zeus comes out from the elevator, grabs her head. Oh, it was another.
It was another zombie. It was Alpha Zombie.
Grabs her head, turns it completely 180, and you see her collarbone pop out of her freaking skin. Like,
I'm watching this at work, and I see that scene. I'm like, oh god.
But like, literally a waste of. She was a waste of space. The CGI character in this movie was a better freaking point of view character.
That's only because she was hilarious. Every time she was on screen, it was hilarious.
Like, and she's apparently a comedian. The pilot.
Taking the Tara and the
again, everybody's like, "Oh, she was amazing. She was amazing. She's hilarious." Didn't get anything from her. Like there was one scene that I was like, "Okay, she's a smart character." That character being, "Hey, this person is the person that hired us, and he is only here to watch over us, which means there's something up here, and we're obligated to let him die if anything happens."
Yeah,
she says this in the movie. And I was like, oh, here is the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, well, she even lays it out. She's like, obviously, I'm the pilot, so I'm the number 2 guy. He's the guy with the safe, so he's the number 1 guy. It's most important to protect. Like, she's laying it out like that.
Yeah,
you guys can argue about who's 2 and 3, or 3 and 4. He's like, but I'm definitely number 2 because I'm the pilot, right? And I was like, oh, that's pretty smart. I like the character. I didn't expect everybody to die, and I guess that's what surprised me. Like you said, there were certain characters I looked at and I was like, okay, this person's gonna die, this person's gonna die. Everybody was kind of a douchebag. The guy who was the rapist.
God, he was.
I'm so glad he died the way he did. Although it was kind of weird. There was one scene where he's being dragged away with the cuffs, and then you see him get thrown in front of all the alphas with the cuffs. He has the cuffs on, and then Zeus picks him up by his neck, and he doesn't have cuffs on anymore.
They break it off before that. You actually see them.
I must have missed them
break it off. Yeah.
Okay.
But also, I understand the point of his character. The point of his character is, hey, you're a bad human being, so you're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
But even
he was the sacrificial lamb, literally. Like the minute Coyote sees him, is like, oh, we need somebody else.
But even
she knew what she was doing.
He got turned into an alpha, and you're like, okay, he's gonna cause trouble. No. 2 seconds with him being an alpha. Boom.
He was
dead.
He was a nuisance more than anything else.
But that was part of that justification. Is like you said, you want the bad guy, the real jerk, to end up being, getting eaten by the zombies. But it's even worse that he's getting killed by the people that he was being the bad guy to.
Yeah,
you get to see them get that revenge on him. Was why that I'm assuming they probably did that, and I knew that was coming. I was like, they're gonna end up killing him. I was like, eventually they're gonna end up killing this guy. So I kind of wish that the other guy that got eaten by the tiger, even though that was a badass scene, I wish he would have got killed by one of them. The girl that I guess he ended up killing sucked.
Again, if you listen to Geekverse, Snell brings this up also. The woman that was best friends with the YouTuber or whatever, Chambers, when she breaks out of all of the hibernating zombies, how could she not like yell out, "Hey, you can't trust that guy. He just locked me in."
Or more importantly, how can all these people sit there and watch her try to fight these zombies? You guys have guns. One guy even shoots one of them in the head and just stands there the rest of the time and watches them. Take her.
Yeah.
I'm like, help her. But
it's so weird because again, these people, and I say these people as far as like the fans, they're like, all of these characters are amazing. Mm-hmm. These characters don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. This woman Chambers, she has been in all of like the fans' favorite movies. She was in Man of Steel. She was in freaking Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now she's in this, and like you don't do anything with her. Like that is my problem.
She had a pretty badass fight scene.
She did have a badass fight scene. She was able to like she has her moments of like stabbing the zombies in the head and like covering their mouth or whatever to keep them quiet. And then she goes all out and starts killing them. Yeah, she goes out like a bad bitch, but there's no reason for her to go out.
Right.
Like, it's a shame, to be honest. Like, there's a lot of moments in this film where you're like, hey, this could completely be avoided. For one, if I was the leader, I'd be like, hey, if you work hard and stay away from zombies, you could probably make just as much money that they're promising you, and plus your life. That's just me. And then I would have never gone, and I probably would have lived. So
maybe. Who knows?
Well, his one friend did back out before they even left.
That's true.
That's the smartest. He was the smartest one. He basically like he was gonna be a part of the group, and then when he realized the ramifications and the standards for this mission, he was like, I'm out. And even the YouTuber was like, hey, I thought you wanted to kill zombies and stuff. He's like, yeah, I just want to kill zombies. I'm not gonna freaking like risk my life to go into the heart of this thing. Like, hell no.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like I said, there are a lot of things in this movie that were kind of crazy, and are hard to explain. But it may be one of those things that's explained later, and that may become to better light with a prequel or sequel. So you never know. But all in all, I had fun with it. Like I said, not my favorite movie. It's not something I'm gonna say, it's just such a fantastic movie. But I enjoyed it. I'm gonna watch it again, and if somebody asks me, I'm gonna recommend it. I'm like, yeah, you should check it out.
I definitely, it definitely is. Like I'm telling people, like, hey, it's a fun movie. It's a zombie movie. It's a heist movie. Like, don't expect too much, but go in, and you should have a good time.
Yeah,
unless you're
on the same page, buddy. Yeah, I agree. Well, y'all got anything else you want to say about it? I like the time theory, the time loop theory. And I'm going to look into that because it could be very interesting. I didn't realize they had this much. I heard they were talking about a sequel, but I didn't realize they had all this other stuff done.
Yeah, two prequels are already in play.
Netflix is trying to get a franchise going, and I think they've been trying to for a very long time. And everything's been really cool. Like, they had the Marvel stuff, but that was only for a limited time, and they knew that was only going to be for a limited time.
So they had to start building their own.
So they had to do something original. And nothing moved as quickly as the hype for Army of the Dead. So,
well, you got to think about this movie. It's going to pull a lot of Snyder fans.
It will,
because a lot of people are coming off, Justice League, and then also you do have that that crowd of folks that do enjoy the horror genre. So anything. So I mean, it kind of pulls from two different. Because, like I said, the only reason I would watch it, because I'm not a horror, I don't like horror. I don't like zombies. I don't like any of that stuff. But I mean, I would probably watch it because it is a Snyder film, because, I enjoy, his directing, and seeing him direct a zombie movie would be pretty crazy. So
it's fun.
I just feel like now that I've gotten more into it, I don't want to put zombies in a horror genre anymore. Like I feel like I used to, but zombies are more, I can't do that with vampires either. I can't look at a vampire movie as a horror movie. Like, I don't know, horror movies for me are things like Quiet Place.
Well, that's more like
have
the
you seen 30
horror.
Days
This
of
is
Night?
more of like
I don't watch a lot of horror movies, is what I'm saying. So
this is more like the gory, because I'm thinking about like
action gore type thing. Yeah. It's just a little different for me. I don't know. It's weird. I have crazy lines with horror on stuff that I'll watch.
Well, now the suspenseful stuff, that psychological.
I'm not watching The Hills Have Eyes and stuff like that.
Hell no.
So I will say that's all me, I guess.
I will say this. So I host a podcast, Batman News Weekly. My co-host and I used to work together at my old job. Mm-hmm. And we basically started doing this thing where, like, hey, we're going to go to the movies. You pay one time, and then I'll pay the next, and we go back and forth. And it's basically like, hey, well, I'm interested in this movie. It's your turn to pay. So, like, just go because you'll pay for it. So, and I'm like, okay. Well, he was like, I really want to watch It Chapter 2. I am terrified. And I mean absolutely terrified of clowns.
Yeah.
I hate them. They're not for me. So I was like, fine, I'm going to go see this. It is not good for my health whatsoever to
Killer
watch
clowns
this.
from outer space.
It is not good for my health whatsoever. Okay, Joe, I get it. But, so I watched It Chapter 1, not the old
the Tim Curry.
Yeah, not the Tim Curry one.
That freaks me out.
I couldn't watch those. I couldn't watch those.
That one.
I couldn't watch those movies at all.
I refuse to.
I couldn't watch the Tim Curry one because there was a moment when I was like really little and I attempted, and I was like, that's scary. That's not like, oh my God, that's what got me terrified of clowns. Then in high school,
majority of kids our age terrified of clowns because they watched that movie.
In high school, their ABC Family, back when it was called ABC Family, had their like 30 days of Halloween or whatever.
Yeah.
And
they still do that.
And Tim Curry's It was going to be on. And I'm like, I am 16 years old. I am a man.
I can handle this.
Yeah. And I'm going to watch this movie. I turned it on.
That's your first mistake right there.
15 minutes in, every light in the house was on, and Disney Channel was on after that.
There you go.
Mind you, this is ABC Family, so it's edited to high hell.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
My anxiety.
The thing that got me is like it's the eyes, these glowing eyes. And then I remember because I'd watched X-Files. And I remember this one episode where they had these glowing eyes where this thing was like up on somewhere. And I'm like, okay, that's it for me. I'm done.
So I couldn't watch that one. And then when he wanted me to watch It Chapter 2, I was like, fine. Well, if I have to watch It Chapter 2, I unfortunately have to get the story from It Chapter 1. So I watched I watched It Chapter 1 on my own. At this point, I was still living with my parents, me and my wife. It was just last year, or technically 2019. So I was living with my parents. I was in a small room just like this with the lights off. And it was just the light of my screen with my headphones. My headphones. And I was just listening.
Tell me how to blanket.
No, I was just like this, and I was just watching it, and I was just like, okay, I'm okay. And then all of a sudden I would hear something and I would like move my headphones. I would move my headphones and I would like stop real quick and I wouldn't move. And I was like, okay, there's nothing. Okay.
See, that's
and I was like that through the whole movie. And then we went to go see It Chapter 2. I had a box of Sour Patch Kids. You know how it is. The box is there's the box and then there's the bag of the Sour Patch Kids. I had to take the Sour Patch Kids out of the box, the little bag, because I used the box as like my stress ball. And the box, by the end of the movie, was completely crumbled into my hand.
Like
and
paste, I'm sure.
And it was the only way to get me to not scream in the middle of this movie theater full of people because it was before COVID.
Dude.
Clay opens up his hand and smoke just comes out.
Yeah.
He's crushed into nothing.
Well, no, because my friend knew this about me. He knew I didn't like clowns. And so like he would every once in a while like look at me and I was just like freaking frozen in fear. And then at the end of the freaking movie, we walk out and my hand is still clenched. And he's like, dude, are you okay? And then I beeline to the trash can. I just extended my hand and I let it go. And this like small little yellow box just goes boop, right in the trash. I'm like, I'm never letting you choose another scary movie ever again. Man. I'm not paying for it.
That's why I just
paid for that.
Those.
I paid for 2 tickets to get my heart racing so freaking fast.
But you got through it. You got through it and you didn't die. You didn't die.
Here's the thing. The first part 1, it chapter 1 was definitely more scarier than it chapter 2.
Was that because you were knowing a little more what to expect?
No, I've seen the original, so I knew the storyline going in. And having it broken up into 2 chapters, 2 separate movies, I think was a really good idea. I just like the kid dynamic better than I like the adult dynamic.
Okay.
When you see freaking crazy old lady walk across the freaking kitchen,
so I had
hell no.
I watched the trailer. They had like a trailer, and they showed that, and I knew that was coming.
Oh yeah, I knew it was coming. I did not know what was coming afterward.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Are you? No,
dude.
No.
So, love it. Love that movie.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not scared of clowns, but if you're a clown, run up on me. I'm not scared to
know. Do you remember? Do you guys remember
that was
in
2019?
I was going to say 2017. I think we had a clown pandemic.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We lead up to the first part 1.
I told Abby, there's a good case that I might murder somebody because if I see a clown running after me while I'm in a car, I have seen enough movies. Like, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to be, oh, hi, clown. What are you doing? I'm not rolling down a window. I'm not getting out of my car. I'm flooring it 90 miles an hour forward and back.
Yeah.
Over that clown. No, that's fair.
It is funny because
a speed bump. There you go. Right on permanent onto the ground.
Well, you can almost immediately look at a clown and tell if it's an evil clown or a bozo the clown. Type and you'll know immediately.
Come on.
Huh?
John Wayne Gacy, let's come on. He was he wasn't, I mean, he didn't look evil. People hired him to come to birthday parties.
Fair point. Yeah.
Okay, this whole thing, he didn't look scary, he didn't look evil. Hello, these clowns have a permanent smile on their face, even when they're sad. No, like you cannot trust any clown whatsoever, ever.
That's a good
never,
way
ever.
I'm down with that. Let's just not trust clowns. Like I said, not scared of you, but I don't trust you. I will knock your ass out if I have to.
Especially the clown prince of crime.
Bum.
See,
that's a clown I like to hang out with.
Frank, what the hell's wrong with you, man?
I don't know, man. Just be cool to the poker, you know. Just one night. That means I'd probably get to see Batman.
Yeah, all you will see is a fist to your face, guilty by association.
True.
Like,
I don't know.
Then your teeth are gone. Like, you see what happens when you hang out with clowns? Like, nothing good happens.
It's true.
Yeah, you become an old lady running naked through your darkened hallway. You're gonna have a fun time sleeping tonight, Clay.
Like I said, glad I hadn't seen this movie. I don't have to worry about any of that. Nope.
I'm gonna go to bed with a nice little comfy smile on my face. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. Y'all want to wrap it up? Speaking of, I think we talked about everything we can right here.
I think we're good.
Yeah,
my dog is going nuts over this thunderstorm, which isn't going to help my sleeping, Joe. I already had to deal with the thunderstorm.
Real like actual true story here. Do you got like a thunder vest you can put on your dog?
A thunder vest?
Yes,
It's like a little weighted vest
it helps them out during thunderstorms, during fireworks. It calms them down. Check into that. It's awesome. It doesn't work like we have it for our dog, especially during 4th of July.
For dogs.
Yeah, especially during 4th of July. It just keeps them calm and keeps them mellow. Because guess what? Fireworks scare the shit out of dogs.
Yeah.
So.
And I must have like the chillest dog ever because Austin, she could care less. Now, this other one over here, I don't know. I've got like 2 bodies laying in my room right now. So.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, let's get out of here, y'all. I guess, Sarah, where can I find you at?
You can find me on Twitter. I'm still knocking around up there at I'm My Lady Kitten. So. I'm not very vocal as I used to be, but honestly, I've just been super busy, fellas. I mean, it's like I have to somebody has to remind me to do my homework for the shows because honestly, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm just so drained.
I got on Twitter the other day for literally like 2 minutes and just started looking through my feed and saw something. And I can't remember what it was. I can't remember if it was something about the Zack Snyder zombies being sexualized, or there was another topic, and like within 2 minutes to be on Twitter, I was like, oh, now I know why I've left.
Yeah,
because like I can't stand hearing all this stupid crap, man. Like seriously, I know why I've left now. So, Joe, where can they find you, buddy?
You can find me on Twitter at _. I don't really post a lot. I try to, but yeah. But you can also find my show, Comic Book Rundown, on Twitter at Comic Rundown. And on Instagram at Comic Book Rundown. And I'm also part of the Ranger Alliance. And I'll let Clay people tell them where that one's at.
Yeah, you can find me at Fanboy Clay on Twitter, where you can go into my bio. You can see the link tree where all of the notes are for where you can find my shows, as well as you can read my bio and see that Travis is in fact a dude bro. So go check out my other shows, that incling DC Alliance, because I am the host of DC Alliance. Nobody can take that away from me.
Are you still the host?
Oh, no.
Travis can say whatever he wants.
Are you still in the corner? I mean, what's going on?
He can say whatever he wants. Nobody can cage me. I am the host of DC Alliance, of Batman News Weekly, Comic Book Legion podcast, Weird Science Marvel, and Weird Science DC Comics podcast, as well as the Ranger Alliance podcast, where Joe is actually going to be the next guest host for our next month.
I got
killing it.
About 10 episodes to watch before the episodes we're actually going to cover. Because I'm trying to stay current. I just haven't been. I've been
kept up.
Like Sarah, I've been busy. No, I just been busy. Like a shit ton
Did
of
I hear
shows
something about possibly a manga? Did I hear something?
Yes,
about
I am probably gonna be pitching it to. Well, if I'm gonna say this, and this is another challenge. Snell can add on to whatever this BS challenge that we have with him choosing whatever video game we're gonna be playing and seeing who's champion. I'm going to take that championship away from him. That's what's going to happen. So
anyway,
I am really, really, really just diving deep into manga. That's my entire first shelf up there, and it's going to fill even more. I'm really wanting to do a manga podcast. Joe, I don't want to see your library. I will never. No, I will never read that many chapters of One Piece. I'm sorry. It just won't happen. You know what? I'll have to get paid for it, which is why I'm wanting to pitch it to the network.
I was just talking to a guy at work about that, how I got into One Piece at the perfect time because it was earlier on in the series, and then I just kind of kept it going from there. Yeah, it's 1,020 chapters, 940 or 50 some episodes.
I honestly would have to say, if I ever wanted to start it, it would have to end first. So that way I know for a fact that I could catch up.
Then I get a finality to it. Yeah.
Okay. So in 5 years, when it actually ends.
Exactly. That's when I can start reading it.
We'll get together on that one.
Exactly.
Well, like I said, my son's actually reading Demon Slayer. So
I am going to be pitching a manga show. it'll be interesting because, like I said, I might be getting a new job. That one's going to be a full-time job if I do get it. So my schedule will be not as fluid as it is right now. But manga has become very near and dear to me within the last year. So it's something that I definitely want to dive more into because there's a genre of manga for literally everybody.
Yeah.
Which is really, really cool. So hopefully that can become a thing.
I mean, you know what? I pitched something to Travis a few weeks back, so I haven't heard word on that yet. So
very nice.
We'll see.
Travis Zeus, right? In this situation.
Oh god!
Right?
If he's the alpha, I'm the omega.
They're the same person.
If he's the start, I'm the end.
They're the same person. It's all Vanderho.
I hear you, man.
Anyway.
Oh my goodness!
You can find me at the Bat Daddy 52 on Twitter. It's about the only place you can find me. I try to get on there once a day and check stuff out, but I'm not on there as often anymore. But hit me up if you're interested in talking about anything. If you have something you want us to talk about, or you just want to talk, information about the show. But we're live here every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. You can find the audio anywhere you look.
For that challenge for me and the Dude Bro, go check out the Geekverse YouTube channel on June 5th. There's going to be a 14-hour charity stream going on there. So go check that out.
Yeah,
those are always very fun.
$500, right?
Yeah.
Those are always very fun.
Are you guys shaving again?
No, I'm actually going to grow my hair out again.
Well,
as long as yours is now. That's what I'm aiming for.
They do their 24-hour live stream. They do their 24-hour live stream every year. I think it's because towards the end of the year. And I've already said, last year we did the shaving the heads and the beards. I've already said that I'll put an X amount of money and I'll completely reenact the 40-year-old virgin chest waxing scene.
You did say that.
With characters and everything. I haven't set the money out there yet, but I will completely reenact that scene word for word with characters and people, and people help me out and post it. So, because I'd like to raise some money for that one this year, but we'll see when it gets closer. We'll talk more about it.
Cool,
love it.
But all right, I'm getting out of here, y'all. I appreciate everybody being here. I'll talk to y'all probably tomorrow. Not, I'll see you real soon. All right,
Bye, guys.
Keep counting.
See ya.